Here we've got a 2023 Dodge Ram 1500. We're going to be installing the form lighting LED projector headlight assemblies. So it's a complete assembly swap on this. And the Ram is offered with LED headlights. This one has the halogen headlights. So it's got a main reflector right in here, and then a high beam along with a turn signal up in the corner and a parking light on the side. So these are fully halogen. There's no LED features on these assemblies. Pretty standard. I mean, that's a basic option. So on the higher trims or packages, you'll have the LED headlights. And I believe the form lighting assemblies are also an upgrade for the LED equipped models. But today, working on the halogen, we'll go over the performance before and after. We'll do some lux comparisons to show you how much brighter. We can analyze the beam pattern and go over all the features of the new assemblies. But most importantly, I think a lot of people are going to like the way they look. These are fully chrome, and the form lighting assemblies are a mixture of black and chrome. They give you that sportier appearance, and we'll get into that shortly. All right, I've got the low beams on. The parking lights automatically come on. That's that amber bulb in the corner there. That also doubles as a turn signal. And the high beam is not on, so that lower right reflector is not activated, but this is your low beam essentially. Again, pretty standard setup here. And we'll move to the wall in a second to show you how that performs and what kind of readings we're getting from the lux meter. All right, factory low beams. These bulbs are original, they haven't been changed. The camera's making it seem pretty bright. I'll automate the exposure there. You can see driver's side's performing probably a little bit better than passenger side based on what I see in real life, as well as the camera. It's pretty consistent, pretty standard for a reflector housing. The hotspot's right in the middle, right under the cutoff. This gives you better distance visibility. So everything looks pretty good there. A little bit of stray light. It is a full chrome housing, not enough to cause any discomfort for oncoming traffic, but that is pretty standard there. And I'll show you what the high beam looks like. High beams look pretty solid. Now, you might have seen us using this lux meter on other videos and comparisons. This gives us an intensity reading. And you can see right at the cutoff line, these are situated so that they're not going to be maximum brightness. So that way there is a little bit of acceptable bleed over. And as we get down, we're looking at about 400 lux right in the hotspot zone. And again, the hotspots, I don't want to say it's low. I think it's appropriately placed when it comes to the halogen reflector headlights. And you can even see the camera adjust, and you can see where the hotspot is in relation to the quote-unquote cutoff line. All right, I'm going to get a high beam hotspot intensity reading. So the hotspot should be right above the low beam cutoff. A lot of people think it's supposed to be super high. It's actually not. And we're hitting some good figures right here. This is pretty solid. It looks like about a 950 lux reading with the high beams on, and that's going to give you great distance visibility. All right, we've got the passenger side assembly bolted up. We're not going to be doing an overview on how to remove the assemblies and reinstall them. Form Lighting does have a great full overview on YouTube, but it's pretty basic. It involves removing the grille, the lower panels on the bottom of the assembly, and then some screws. So it's a little bit of work to get there. However, it's nothing too complicated, just time consuming. It's got the passenger side assembly, factory halogen on the driver's side, and we'll start it up in a moment and show you how everything looks. All right, we're going to start the car and show off that startup sequence, and that'll come on anytime the ignition's keyed over, and at that point the daytime running lights will be on. So we'll show you how that looks. You can turn it on. So super cool startup sequence, welcome light, however you want to call it. And that's what the daytime running lights look like. So there was no daytime running lights before, and now anytime the car is running, you'll have that
upper and lower daytime running light strip activated on these lights, which gives you that modern look, and the factory one does not have anything.
All right, so we've got the low beams on now. The upper and lower DRL or parking lights are also on. And you can see from the side, you've got that amber parking light that goes to the amber reflector. And I'll show you something really nice too. We'll go over the hazards, which will show up the turn signals. So you can see that bulb in the corner right here. Used to turn on, that's the factory parking light and turn signal. And now you have a separate function. Essentially, you've got just a lower strip illuminating underneath the daytime running light, and that gives you the sequential movement for your turn signal. So it really looks modern that way. It looks really good. But we'll get both of these installed and do a full wrap up and show you guys how they perform as well. All right, we've got both assemblies installed, as you can see. We're showing off that welcome sequence. And this happens anytime you key the ignition on, so it looks really awesome. And we'll get over to the rest of the review shortly. All right, we've got the low beams on. That means the parking lights are on. Upper and lower daytime running light bars, which are in a parking light setting currently. Everything worked out perfectly. The lights were plug and play. Absolutely no issues. And putting everything back together was a lot easier than taking it apart. It's a little tedious the first time when you're working on a new model. But these look really good. The customer's very, very, very pleased with them. And I must say they look amazing, and they completely transform the front end. Got nice color flicker. Even though the assemblies are the same size, it almost makes them look a little bit smaller because of the way that they're shaped and where the turn signal is. Let's see that turn signal. So that's really visible. It's really good. And we'll show you the performance against the wall. We'll do that lux measurement. We'll see where things are. All right, here's what the output looks like. Both assemblies are on. So all three projectors are for low beam mode. You can see how this looks. So if you study the beam pattern, you can see that one of the projectors likely has a step in it and the other one is flat. I don't know which one's which, but you can tell that there's multiple things going on. And this is very common with, multi-beam projector headlights. And you can see they have a pretty good hotspot. And we'll do that quick measurement. You can see a lot of blue and purple in the cutoff, which will give you that nice cutoff, the color flicker. But I'll do a quick measurement. If you notice before, I think we were hitting high threes or even I think about 400 lux, just about. So here, depending on where we're measuring, and this is quite low, but if we get up closer to the cutoff line, I mean, we're still hitting high sixes, mid to high fives. I think we get down to 600 on a little bit low. So that looks pretty good. It is a boost in performance, in low beam performance. And overall, I'm very pleased with that. Can we see high beam mode? Now, what I noticed in high beam mode, it does look like all three projectors are bi LED because that cutoff line does fade away if you study it. The hotspot on the high beam is probably not quite as intense, and you can tell that it's not as focused. So let's say we move over to this hotspot area. It's actually quite hard to kind of grab it and see where the highest point is. But it doesn't get that much brighter for high beam, but the cutoff shield does open. So the factory high beams, technically, they're going to be a little bit better focused, and the hotspot zone is more intense right in the center zone. But this one just lifts up the shield, drops the shield, essentially lets all the light out, and that's how you have your high beam mode. But let us know what you think about these. Leave a comment below. You can find these on our website. We'll leave a product link in the description, and you can get them ordered up. These are generally in stock and ready to go. And these are Form's latest lights, and they're pretty awesome. So definitely let us know what you think, and please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to hear from you more often and check out what we're working on. Thanks again.